Hello there everybody and welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2. Now this week we're going to be looking at another truck mod, but this time, although I'm in a Volvo and I'm at a Volvo dealer, as we can see if I spin around, you can just see the flags. It's not a Volvo. It's a weird quirk that this mod has. It's actually a Mercedes-Benz, but you can only buy it in a Volvo garage, so let's go over and take a look at what it's like in the garage. Now I decided to go for something a little different this week. So on the channel we've been having quite a lot of new trucks, but this time I've gone for a classic truck. So as you can see, we've got the original FX16, the amazing FH Classic that I had last week on the channel, and then we've got the new one. And then over here in the corner we have this. Now this is a Mercedes-Benz NG Sleeper. So I'm going to go ahead and configure this and tell you a bit about it. So this is the Mercedes-Benz NG. The NG stands for New Generation, and it was a series of trucks built by Daimler-Benz from 1973 till 1988. So this is by no way a new truck. So in terms of cabin options, we've only got sleeper. Chassis options, we've got 4x2 and 6x4. I like the 6x4 because you get that extra length. And then engines, the only one worth going for is the 443 horsepower turbocharged V8. I've tried the 315 horsepower and it's awful. It can't even pull itself, so I wouldn't even attempt pulling a trailer with it. Gearboxes, we've got the standard gearboxes without and with retarder. Interior then, and now straight away you can see that it's got a retro style seats and it looks really nice. So we've got these little tiny mirrors here, and it's very basic inside. We've only got basic heating controls, some vents, but we do get a sat nav, which is good. So as you can see, it's very low as well. There's not much room to move about. So there's no configuration options for the interior, that's it. Now colours, we've got the standard Volvo colours. In the paint shop you can add a custom colour to it, but I'm going to go with deep aquamarine. So I think it looks really nice with like the orange seats. Outside options, not very many on this truck, however it is a whole new model, so I don't expect much to be customizable. We do however get low lamps, which are a very popular customization to this truck in real life, and we get this front like solar panel, solar thing. But I have to say it doesn't look the greatest thing in the world, so I'm going to leave it off. And up here we get two different wind deflectors. We get a painted one and a white one. It just shows how much aerodynamics goes into these old trucks. You get like a board which is slightly tilted, and that acts as aerodynamics apparently. It also gives you a perspective of how old this is. This was built around a time where they didn't really understand aerodynamics. So wheels, with this mod you get a custom set of wheels which are red, but I don't really like them, so I'm going to go with some other ones. Problem with this mod, as it's very old, most of the wheels that you'll pick either look too big or they look like really out of place, like the chrome wheels, or that. I mean, that just looks ridiculous. So I'm going to go with some fairly basic Eastern Eagle tyres, which are standard to Euro Truck. And that is about it, I think. Yep. So there is your fully customised Mercedes-Benz NG1632 with 1632 written on the door here. So overall it's a very nicely textured truck. So I'm very pleased with the way it looks. And the only thing now to do is see how it drives on the road. So we're going to go ahead and confirm that, and we're going to trade in my Volvo for this, and there we go. Ta-da! So straight away in the daylight you can see that the textures are very high quality. There we go, just some sweeping shots of it. So overall I think it looks really nice. And it's something very different to try out if you're a long time Euro truck player and you're used to modern trucks. It really gives you a perspective of how truck driving has changed over the years. So I'm going to join you on the road, and yes, I'm going to pick up a load and see how it drives. So, on the road then, we can immediately tell that this is a very old truck, mainly down to the lack of power. I mean, I'm on full throttle at the moment, doing just under 2,000 revs, and we're just about pulling up this little hill here. I'm pulling 17 tons, so I would say that 20 tons is about the limit for this truck, even though it has the larger engine. I have no idea how it would handle with the 315 horsepower engine, so I wouldn't recommend you even attempt to try that. I'd recommend that you just go straight for the V8 engine. Now you can tell that inside it's a very old truck. We've got a few heater controls next to the dials here. We've got some very basic lights up the top of the instrument dash that tell us indicators and stuff. These seats are very different. They're a bit orange, and you can tell how old this truck is just by looking at the top. It has, I think that's a radio, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no radio down here. It only has a radio in the roof, so it has no tachometer, which is it's pretty standard in all trucks. So you can really get a feeling of how historic this truck is, right down to the little mirrors as well. You can just see out of the one on the right. So in terms of driving, it sounds very nice. In this mod, it's been adapted to get a custom sound, so it sounds very good, and the horn is very good. Very classic style horn. And in terms of cabin space, we've got 2 bunk beds in the back, it looks. So we can tell that this is a El Farah house, this cab style. So I'll explain what I mean by here. So the new generation was launched in 1973. It was completely new, a completely new design, and only launched as the first models as construction site vehicles. Then the next year they added a sleeper cab, and then in 1977 there was 3 cab options. You could either have as an S Farah house, which is a small cab, which is like a day cab, an M Farah house with narrow side windows, so I'm guessing that only had like 1 bunk bed, and an L Farah house, which is larger and has 2 bunk beds. So Farah house, if you don't know any German, literally translates into drive house. So I thought that was quite a little good feature. And look at these window wipers, straight from the 70s. So yes, I'm very impressed with how this truck drives. I was expecting it to be absolutely awful, seeing as it's so old, but it's not bad. As long as you keep the momentum up hills, like changing down gears. You got to keep in the green power band, otherwise it's just a bit gutless, to be honest. But it's fairly stable. I wouldn't say it's exactly as stable as the new Volvo, but it's enough to stop you from crashing. Ooh, that was fast over those railway crossings. So I like the fact that you get a sat nav in this. That's very helpful if you're one of those drivers who doesn't like to drive along with the crappy PDA. And that's the only mod con that this cab has, so ooh, I'm drifting. I'm just going to attempt to get up this motorway slip road. Rev it. Appreciate the nice sound from the outside. This is building up revs. I can't do it! So it looks really nice, this truck, from the outside in any colour that you get it in. You can see how much it's dwarfed by the massive trailer. And we're up onto the motorway. So if you want to download this mod, it will be on modaholic.com as usual. I'd recommend you download this mod if you want to try out something a bit quirky and a bit different to what all the other mods are like, because most mods are for the new trucks, and like the Mercedes Actros MP4, which is the new Mercedes-Benz truck. So it's quite rare to find a truck that's so old that someone has modded. So if you want to have a download, all the links, as usual, are in this YouTube description, or you can visit Modaholic directly at www.modaholic.com. That's all from me this week. I'm going to finish my load and then have a chillax. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you like the Mercedes-Benz NG1632. I quite liked it. I thought it was very different. I'm just going to get carved up by the AI. And yeah, if you want to try out something different, this is definitely a mod worth testing. So that's all from me, guys. I'll see you next week, but for now, happy trucking!